Hello.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm tired.
Yeah?
I'm Angel, obviously.
Yes, obviously.
We
Lovely
met.
to see you again after at the convention.
Yes. That was crazy. I was in LA for a week.
Did you enjoy yourself?
I did. I started watching Verticals 2023.
Okay. I started making verticals 2023. This is great.
No, I
We're the
know.
early adopters in the space.
I've seen over 2,500.
Oh my God. That's is that real? Is that a real number? Different series?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even remember. Okay, that's a lot in this space. Yep.
Because you have, the ones that America makes, and you have Australia, and then you have Ukraine, and I've tried a couple Chinese ones, and I was like, I don't understand it.
Yeah, those are a little more complicated to follow, but it's yeah, totally.
My first one was either Casey's first one or Eric's first one. I
Okay,
can't remember off the top of my head.
fair, valid. I've
But I'm a
worked,
little.
having worked with both gentlemen, I can say they're great to work with.
How did you get into your first vertical, like directing it?
I got into my first vertical as a director. I had been directing music videos and short films and commercials, branded content and stuff like that for about 5-6 years. And a friend of a friend had posted on Instagram that they needed a director for a thing. And so she had sent me that message, like the story. She's like, Jonah, you're a director. You should talk to this guy. And I was like, I'm a director. I should talk to this guy. And so I sent over my materials and I sent my portfolio and my director's reel. And I think what's really helpful too is as a director, you want to be really specific with how you market yourself. Like I have a commercial reel. I have a music video reel. I have a narrative reel. And as an actor as well, I have a comedy reel. I have a drama reel. I have a commercial reel. So it's like on all these different sides, it's like you want to be able to present yourself correctly to a person as the opportunity comes. Right. So when I sent over my narrative director reel, which has all the things that I figure this might need, within 45 minutes, I got a call. They were like, hey, watch your stuff. It looks great. Can you start? We start shooting in like 6 days. When can you get started? And I was like, what are we making? What are we doing? And they're like, and they sent me a 77-page script. And I was like, we should get off the phone right now because I should get started on this prep because we start in 6 days. And they were like, so you're down? And I was like, yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. And I just kind of treated it like any kind of independent feature, long form narrative project without really considering like vertical storytelling or kind of what that was. And I think a lot of like my natural instincts as a storyteller, and then the crew that we had with us as well, and the cast, it was Noah Fernley's first vertical also. And it was Rachel Coops, our lead. She was great in it too. And just having enough people who knew how to make movies around helped make a really popular vertical. And then we're able to start, once you're in on that side of things, then you can start leaning more vertical with it. But first, I just wanted to approach it like a normal film would approach itself.
Okay. Is it? Hold on. You put yourself in all your verticals in some kind of role.
I started putting myself in my own verticals, maybe like halfway through, or like, I don't know, a year into doing it. I was like, what am I doing? I'm an actor. Like, this would be way more fun. But it didn't even come from that. I remember it was my second vertical I directed, actually. So I guess pretty quickly. It was a vertical for real short called The One That Got Away. And I remember we had a setup that was supposed to be in this garage with a different scene with Sarah Maliski, and she was looking at this piece of evidence that ruins the whole thing, and we're set for it, and it's so beautifully lit, and it looks great, whatever. And I knew I was also going to use that garage and that backdrop. All I was going to do is I was going to change remove the couch, bring in this different chair, remove the wallpaper, bring in different plants, and kind of make it look like a different space, but physically be the same area. But we were going to do that the following day for this Gen Z YouTuber named Kyle. And we'd already cast somebody and everything like that. And my producer, my AD, and my DP all looked at me and they go, so you're an actor? And I was like, yeah, what's up? They go, well, we're already lit for this space. We don't want to come back and do it tomorrow. And I was like, yeah, but we already cast them. We can't do that. And I look at my producer and she kind of was like, and I was like, I mean, could we give them and I remember asking, she was like, can we give them what's called a kill fee? Could we give that actor that we cast a half day rate? Because like, I felt like such a jerk taking this role that somebody had booked in a thing. But then everybody was like, dude, it's better for the movie. It's better for production. Go in there and do the thing. And I was like, yeah, okay, fine. All right, cool. But I was kind of reluctant with it the first time. And they had to really insist that, we were there productionally, the schedule, logistically, it all makes sense for us to have this happen right now, which it totally did. And then after I did that on the first one, I think I kind of flirted with it on and off. I think the second time I was on camera was with Jared Harper and Emily Gately. It was like a quick waiter and a quick thing for My Ex-Husband Can't Stop Spoiling Me, which was on Snack Short. And then I got really, intentional with it. I got more intentional with like the cameos. Maybe the last like 7, 8, 9, 10 projects where I was like, all right, well, this is something that people are starting to pick up on. This is fun for me. This is something to notice. Let me see where it makes sense to put myself in these projects. And I'm happy to say that the last 3 that I just did in Istanbul, they're all really fun roles. And one of them with Tess Dinnerstein and Ben Armstrong for Drama Pops, I'm like, I'm the principal of the thing. I'm in like 9 or 10 scenes or something like that. Like I'm as a director acting in the thing. It was a lot. I was like, oh my god, we need me again. This is crazy. But I started putting myself in smaller roles, and then I started working up into like being able to do service the story in other ways in addition to directing it.
Okay. Yeah, because I think somebody reached out to me through Instagram and they're like, did you know Danny Farber is in this? And I was like, yeah, he directed it. And they're like, no, he's in it. And I was like, yeah, I know.
Yeah. That's also the hard part too, because like they don't usually show credits on these things. And so like that's one of my like trademarks where it's like if I want people to know that I directed this thing, I'm gonna be in episode 1 or 2 or 3. I'm gonna be somewhere in the free space. That way people know this was directed by Danny Farber. This was a Danny Farber production. Here's a thing. Because without ever having credits and it's hard to claim ownership over a project. They'll never know. So yeah.
Yeah. I talked to Noah Andre and we talked about Cheer Up Baby.
Love Cheer Up Baby.
Love Cheer Up Baby.
Yeah.
The condom scene.
Yes.
Is one of the best scenes for me.
Okay.
He says he forgets that it exists half the time.
Okay.
What was it like filming that? Like, was it hard to keep composure? What is it like for you as a director when things are really funny?
I love it. If I'm laughing, then we're doing it right? Like it's like, because so much of this is like stressful. And when you're putting the pieces together and you have an idea and you communicated it to props and to wardrobe and we're in the right location and you have a great producer who has the right cast and we have a good DP who makes it look pretty, all of these, and then the actors know their mark in their performance, and it's a thing that on the page I think it was a little bit more stale. And then I was like, yeah, but this is really funny. I do my like slow motion paper showers is what I call them. Like, so I was like, well, if I do my paper shower posted dollar bills, now it's going to be condoms raining down. It's a similar idea within a new context here. And so I remember on that specifically, I was like, because we're there and Hallie's so sweet and Noah's so goofy. And like, I remember just seeing it on Noah's side. He kind of tosses it up. And I started laughing in the middle of that thing, and I was like, cool, if I'm laughing, this is great. Got this side. Let me see Hallie's side. And Hallie's got such an affable, like, likability behind her, where like she's so just charming, and in that character was so innocent, and to see her like, oh, 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 you know what I mean? Like all of those little
Mhm.
beats that you can say with your eyes and your expression, and then out. It's like that's funny. That's what this should feel like. So yeah, I remember on that day shooting that scene where it was like, this feels good. This is right in the pocket of like what needs to be funny. And yeah, I'm glad that was a thing that resonated with you. Can I ask for you, what do you love about that scene?
About that scene, I think it's comical.
It's just funny. It's
You
just
you like see it in shows, but it's never that
cool.
big.
Yeah.
It's always just like they throw it up and you see a couple, and like this is just all over. And I was
It's
like, I love this. This is great.
That's okay. Cool. Because there's a thing too where it's like you got to. It's a small screen, so you need big reactions, I think.
Mhm.
And you're so invested in, especially with Cheer Up Baby, you know, in watching these two people, you know, learn to love and learn to fall in love. They're so young, and then you can't have love without sex. And like, you know, it's not even the fact that they do or don't have sex, but it's more so the fact that it's that taboo of, oh my God, you think I'm handsome? You think I'm hot? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It's that like that feeling that we all can relate to that I really loved with that story.
And I think another thing was like, I guess not nowadays, but I'm not a teenager anymore. I don't know.
Mm.
And I grew up in a very small town, so I didn't never have relationships. But it's with some people, it's just such a like embarrassing thing where they're like, oh, like they want to do this, they have these, they're expecting this, and that's what was portrayed in that scene. Was like, it's awkward. They know it's a thing. They know that people do it, but it was still awkward because
it's awkward. It can be if you don't have like clear communication around, like, yeah, especially at that age and who these characters are. It's supposed to have that like rosy cheek kind of vibe to it. So totally.
And I don't see that very often.
Well,
at least
I'm glad you liked it.
Not much anymore. Is there one of your verticals that you've done that you'd want to do like a part 2 to?
So I'm like watching them all in my head right now. I'm like trying to go back and forth through the thing. Sometimes they end so nice. There is one that I just that isn't out yet. It's going to be on Drama Pops. It's right now. It's called Bad Boys Tutor, with Tess Dinnerstein and Ben Armstrong, and JC Ann is in it, and Jordan Dick's in it. It's produced by Palm Film. It's really, really, really great, and it's I think it's a bit ambiguous in the ending, and I think those characters. It's another young adult teen dramedy. It's a little bit grittier. It's a little bit more gritty than Cheer Up Baby was. It kind of leans a little bit closer towards like a Skins, that kind of like Degrassi kind of style of things. Some of it's very cool and very fun and like very cute and light, and some of it's like a little bit heavier. And that follows characters in high school, and I'd love to see them in college. I think Cheer Up Baby too, I'd love to see in college too, and kind of see where they're at. I think that would be an interesting thing. I did one too, the Ruthless Billionaire for the Surrogate, the Mistaken Surrogate for the Ruthless Billionaire, and that would be great too to see like where those characters are now, like after the love story. Where do we go? Like how does that develop further? Which could be interesting to like, kind of like revisit some of that and see, just kind of see what that looks like.
So going back to like your first vertical, right? Was it weird? Because I know the cameras are turned. Was it strange for you to see that like setup?
I remember by like lunch of day one, I kind of got it. It took maybe that first 6 hours. I was just like, the hell are we? How is this? And then of course along the way too, like there's things you learn where it's like, okay, you really can't dolly in and dolly out that like directly. The way that the camera parallaxes, you don't really feel the push in. What you have to do is, it's so nerdy. You got to put your dolly track straight. You kind of got to put it at an angle. That way you'll feel camera move more so push indirectly. That's going to kind of push it like that. It's like there's all of that kind of things where that took a little bit more time to adjust to. But I as I would break in new DPs, new cinematographers, as we get I was on project 4, 5, 7, 8, 12, and there were people who were still so new to this. I was like, all right, here's what's going to happen. You're not going to understand. It's going to take you till like lunch by day one, and then I think you'll start to figure it out too. With boom operators and stuff too, it's like you can't boom from up top. We're going to see the ceiling. Like it's just so we got to boom from the side. It's all of those kind of things that usually you don't have to compensate for, or lighting wise, you're not going to. So, but it's just like any skill. It takes a small learning curve and a bit of an adjustment period, and then from there it's just making a movie again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you get to like pick, or how do you pick the ones that you direct?
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I'll usually get sent a script. Sometimes I'll get sent multiple scripts from one company, and they're like, which one are you interested in doing out of these 3? And there's been times too where I'm like, none of these 3. And they're like, all right, well, contractually we're obligated to do something this month. So out of these 3, which one do you like, the most? And I'm like, all right, well then out of the 3 of them, I'll take this one. But other than that too, it's like, I have like a pretty steadfast list of things that I don't want to do, or things that I'll remove from a script. And if it's really important to the writer and the company that stays in, then I'll politely just kind of remove myself from that project, because it's just not worth putting on camera, I think. So that kind of helps shape it. And then for a while there too, after I did I don't remember what my first YA one was, but I really wanted to explore like young adult stories and YA romances and that kind of thing, and get away from the billionaire and try something that feels different. And so then I only started taking projects that weren't that. And I'm happy to say that my last 5, I think, aren't really billionaire related at all. So it is interesting to kind of shake up and see like what you can do. So yeah, that's definitely been like part of the process of like, here's a couple different options, A, B, C, or D. Sometimes it's like, here are our dates, here's the rate, here's the city that we're going to film it in. And if a couple of those feel interesting to me, I'm like, ooh, I want to go to that city. That sounds fun. What's the story like? And then the story's like, let's see if we can elevate this, make this feel a little bit stronger than it is. But if you're able to pick, it's like what can you connect with the most, and like where do you see the industry starting to lean towards, and can you get ahead of the wave, and can you be one of the first to market with that kind of story, or can you do that story better than somebody else has done that story?
Okay, I think I was looking at your IMDb earlier. I think it's Breaking the Deal with the Hockey Bad Boy was your first YA?
It was definitely one that I did. Maybe, sure. The order of things is kind of sticky.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you doing the research. Yeah.
I always try and like just to refresh in, because I've seen so many, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Totally valid.
I think I've only not seen one that you've done, and that's Smile, My Cheating Husband.
Oh, okay. Can I recommend you see Smile? I think Smile is a great story.
I think that's on Good Short, right?
It's a good short one. Yeah. And it's like a medical drama where our lead, Brittany Marcichek, is like pinned against everybody else, and it's like her being a badass powerhouse who's smarter than everybody, who's the best doctor, top of her game, and she's so brilliant. That whole movie, like that, Evan Fonts is really good in it. Lisa Long, Melissa Goodwin is really, really a great villain in it. There's a lot of really strong performances, and that's like mainly set in a hospital for the first half of it. And there isn't a big romantic arc until about halfway through, and it's like just different in terms of vertical. Able to see these characters get developed a little bit deeper than normally, which is it was a good one. I really like that one.
Yeah, I think I have it on my list for my good short watches.
Nice.
So
Nice.
I'll get it done.
Get her done.
Some point this week.
Yeah.
So what have you seen change in the industry since when you first started directing to now?
For vertical specifically? So we are definitely entering Gen 2 of verticals. Whatever vertical 2.0 is going to be, it's like it's happening fast. Like that Tall Flicks show, the Squid Games one. And have you watched it?
I've seen some of it.
Right. I remember I had some friends that got cast on it. I had some friends that were working crew on it. I'd see all this BTS on their Instagram, and I was like, what are they in at one point for like an iota of a second? It was a thing that came across my desk where there was like, there's a Squid Game script. And I was like, let me see that. And then within 45 seconds, there was like, there's no more Squid Game script, actually. Sorry, somebody else is doing it. And I was like, that's cool. That's fine. Good luck, with the thing, because it looks wild and like it's cool. So I think they crushed. I haven't seen it, but it looks really great. And it's like, it's cool to see this industry start to take serious what these verticals can be. I think we're going to start to see a lot more storylines. I think we're going to see a much wider cast, like set of actors. I think if you were established as like a grandfathered in as Gen 1 vertical superstar, that doesn't necessarily mean that will translate into what Gen 2 is going to do. I think it does have some cachet for sure. Of like, well, we did all these things to get us here, but this industry loves to forget and move on and claim ownership as soon as you're gone. So it's just trying to stay as relevant. Like I just had this conversation with somebody, and it was like I've worked so hard these last 2 years. I've done 23 verticals. I've made 23 feature films in the last 2 years, October of 23. And that's a lot. And now with the industry looking at it, with the audiences growing, with the opportunities bountiful, I'm going to have to start working harder. And that's just what it is. It's elevating your game and understanding that, like, all right, people are starting to take these more seriously, so we need to start taking these things more seriously sometimes. And it can still be fun, and it can still be light, and it can be whatever. But there is a world where, like, I think that, like, I really want to explore like other genres and like see what it feels like to do a pirate movie, to see what it feels like to do a road trip buddy comedy, to act more prevalently in these things and get in shape and see if how that would be to like get in like on camera ready for doing some of these things. So I think all of that is something that we're going to be able to notice pretty quickly, is like the upping of production value in Gen 2. What that means, though, is if they're only going to pay the same amount of money and shoot it in the same amount of days, we can only do so much. So hopefully, at the very least, we're either going to get higher budgets or better scripts, things that feel more in line with I don't know, traditional storytelling.
What's a genre that you haven't done that you would do? I know you're really into YA right now, but like, is there one that hasn't been done that you're like, I'll do it if I get the chance to?
Dude, I really want to do a bank heist one so badly. I think it would be so cool. I think a bank heist vertical would be so fun. I want to do a Western. Western would be fun, sexy, hot, romantic. I want to do a pirate one for sure. I want to do a sci-fi one could be cool. Like or horror could be really cool. Start to build out maybe a more like male audience, like a stoner comedy could be fun. Like all of that I think we're used to in traditional media would be great to kind of play in those landscapes as well. YA is great. Romance movies are great. I just do think there's other stories that I like to tell as well. I
think horror would do great. I'm a big horror person though, so I'm like,
I think horror would be great too. And I've been saying this since before verticals. I was like, if we can find a way to put, because when you watch it, it's like this close to your face, and to literally be like, it's like right there. It's right there. It's like, I don't know. I think there's a lot we can do with horror that can be really fun.
I think so. So away from directing for a second,
Okay.
you write music.
I do.
And you just put out your first music video?
My first music video, the beginning of this month. Yeah.
Did you direct it too?
No.
Okay.
No. I and that's a fair question. I hired Bruto Media, Tobias Lehrman was my producer on it. And I was like, can you find me a director? Can you have somebody edit it? Can I just be the artist? Because I come from directing music videos before Verticals. So I'm well aware of what it's like to work with artists and to direct music videos. And it was so fun on this one to just be the artist and be like, yeah, I don't really like that as much. Can we do this? Yeah, we'll do that. Great. And then they'll handle all the logistics. I just got to have fun on camera. They're going to edit the whole thing. I saw maybe 2 cuts of it before they were like, we're locked on this thing. And I was like, great. And like a little bit of light direction in terms of like, oh, maybe a little bit less of this, but really keep it hands off and like let that creative team flourish and kind of do their job and see kind of what that can look like.
Because you had a bunch of like actor cameos, right?
Oh my God, that was a whole Vertical party basically. It was my 30th birthday. And it was on Sunset Boulevard. And it was I played a show with a band that I don't really have. I hired some musicians. We had some rehearsals. I hired 2 other bands that aren't in the video that also played that night that were great. And I don't know, 100 and something people came out. We had a bunch of fun, and we had 3 cameras running around and shooting the thing and cutting it up. And the song is so fun, baby, 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 baby. It's so fun and like the rowdy that I was like, this is a great place to do this. And now I forever have this like stamp of what my 30th birthday looked like, and what it felt like to leave your 20s and to kind of enter this new chapter. And that always will live on in that video. The beautiful thing about film is like fame is temporary, film is forever.
How do you hold on? Because you've posted like some videos on your stories of like you'll be on like lunch break or whatever on set.
Yeah.
Do you just pick up a guitar whenever you can, or like?
Yeah. That's totally fair question. So I kind of make it a point when I'm traveling to have production provide a guitar for me. What I recognize is with my own ADHD, it's helpful to have something to stimulate myself. I think with my own ADHD, it's helpful for me to be able to, hyperfixate on something while the machine is working. And I tend to focus on monitor because that's my job. Is I got to look at the TV. I'm watching TV all day. I'm making TV all day, right? So if I'm there and I'm here and if I'm looking at monitor and I see this one painting that was supposed to be here is actually still here, but I asked about 10 minutes ago for it to go from here to here, I'll be like, I can move it. I can leave the monitor and I can go and I can move it, and I'll overshoot it, and then I'll have to go back and I'll have to readjust it. And then that's going to make whoever's job it is to move the painting feel like they're not doing the job, and probably they're not. They're also moving the plant, and they're doing all these kind of things that I don't know. And then I'll look and I'll ask for the lighting. The lighting is still really, really, really dark on the side of the screen. Really need to brighten that up, and I can look and I can wait. I can just do this. And it gets everybody frustrated, and it gets me frustrated, and it slows things down, and it's not the best environment. Or start playing a little song, start noodling around the thing, enjoy this, enjoy that, and helps the morale, helps the energy, helps the flow. Sometimes it might be a little too much, and I can also tell some crew where they're like, "Dude, we gotta fucking work here, and you can't just concert." And I'm like, "You're not my mom," you know what I mean? But so it's part morale booster for mainly it's for me, and I hope that I can help the rest of the vibe on set be better by just playing tunes, because I think too that like, and I don't know how other people feel about it, but like as a creative professional, like as an artist, it's like shooter's gonna shoot. Artists are gonna do arty stuff, right? And like I really music for me seasons life in a way that nothing else kind of does, and I just makes my day to day a little bit better. I like having a musical element to my day.
Mhm. So we all know about the 100 Babies.
Yeah, the 100 Babies.
How many other songs have you written?
So I just actually was in the studio yesterday. I'm gonna have something come out probably next month, called Istanbul, written in Istanbul. That are it's really sweet. We just laid down the trumpet part in it. It sounds awesome. The trumpet player from the Baby music video, Kid Ryan, came out to do trumpets on Istanbul now. But I've released one EP that has 5 songs called "Hope to See You There." So out of those 5 songs, "Baby, Baby, Baby, Baby" is one of them. One of them I wrote for an ex who meant and still means like a lot to me. There's a couple others that I just wrote during COVID where I was like just getting into like songwriting. So yeah, I've got 6 written, 5 recorded. I'm halfway through recording the 6th. And I hope to, over a long career, I hope to be in 100 movies. I hope to make 500 movies, and I hope to make 1,000 songs. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to leave. I know that I'm not going to be in this world forever, and I know that people's attention spans are short. But I hope that my art outlives myself. I'm able to create a legacy of like good vibes and fun things to enjoy, fun entertainment.
And you have merch now.
And I got merch now. It's pretty awesome merch, dude. It's my pretty awesome merch. So what people don't know that I've been very, very quiet about since 2023, I started my own production company, Pretty Awesome Productions. And Pretty Awesome Productions right now is just a way for me to incorporate myself. It's my LLC and my S Corp. But within my EP, the record label's Pretty Awesome Sounds. I'm making pretty awesome designs. I think that, as I continue to grow in the space and the entertainment at large, it'd be great to kind of have this pretty awesome umbrella to funnel all of my brand, all of my Danny Farber stuff is really, and then hopefully bring on other storytellers and other people that have pretty awesome ideas that want to, tell these pretty awesome movies. If Jordan Peele has Monkey Paw, Awesome Productions is something that I've had that now I like starting to make. I intentionally, my management team was like, take October off. Don't take a job in October. Just take a second. And I've done back to back to back, sometimes 3 verticals a month since April of 2024.
Wow.
So I haven't taken a break for more than 5-10 days since April 2024. And this whole month having taken it off, within 3 days, I made a whole merch store that I've been having in my head for the last 10-12 months. I've been like, make the merch store. I made that really quickly, started writing this new song. I'm writing a little bit of other film related stuff. I auditioned for the new Scrubs. I auditioned for a Seth Rogen movie. I'm like, I'm just doing like things that are a little bit more creatively fulfilled to my journey, my story, and kind of, it's good to just take a break,
Because you were in Turkey and then flew back the day before you were at Verticon?
That's exactly right. I came and I actually had to leave that production early to go to Verticon, and another director came in for the last 4 days of the show.
Oh.
But I was like, I signed the Verticon contract before, and that one wasn't supposed to be in Turkey. That was only in Turkey because I was already there when they started. They were like, do you want to do another one? And I was like, I've already been here for 6 weeks, but like, I'll tack on another 2.5, 3 weeks. Okay. And I do genuinely really love Turkey, and Istanbul, but it was a long time. So, yeah, I went from there to there.
What was Verticon, the Verticon experience like for you as a director? Was it more than you thought?
Yeah, it was cool. It was great to see everybody without the pressure of set.
Mhm.
And like occasionally there'll be, you know, there's a lot of the actor hangs or whatever, and like that's great and it's beautiful. And I know that I'm not lead actor on these things, and that's okay. But it is. But I'll occasionally, you know, play golf or get lunch or go to a party with a handful of these vertical folk.
Mhm.
And it was another really good opportunity to connect and to meet with and to meet for the first time some wonderful people and creatives, and some of my favorite producers were there and production companies. So it was, you know, I really got to shout out Donnell and everybody that put that together, that like they ran a great show, and it was really fun to be a part of and celebrate the work that we're doing, because
Mhm.
you know, there's another festival on November 5th here in LA, that I think I'm going to be in London making my next vertical, which is like a wonderful, beautiful sentence to say. And I'm also,
Mhm.
but it is a bummer that, you know, you're kind of missing the celebrating the thing by making the thing. But,
Mhm.
and I think both are important. I think it's important to make the work, and it is important to celebrate the work, because otherwise, what are we doing? You know?
Did you get a lot of people that like recognized you, other than obviously interviewers or
I,
reviewers?
no, yeah, it was really great. It was really fun to like. I mean, the fans are so cool. It was like such a wonderful experience to like have people drew me, and I got to autograph photos of myself as like fan art, and it was like a really wonderful, special thing that, you know, I
Mhm.
thought I would not have been able to do had I not been there. So like that part of it was really fun and really cool, and it was great to like connect with people that I knew online, that for the first time and be like, oh my gosh, yes, this is great to put a name or a face with the account, and see how everybody kind of gets supported in the thing. You
Mhm.
know,
That's
how
what
did
I.
you how did you feel about
I enjoyed the whole thing. I mean, I you know, just meeting you guys, and a big part of it was like having everyone know that like while I am a fan, I'm also trying to do it all from like a professional standpoint.
Sure.
So
Yeah,
like, because that's my page. I'm a reviewer.
yeah,
I'm an interviewer.
yeah.
I'm not trying to have you be like, oh, she's kind of crazy.
We're all kind of crazy. It's
Well,
okay.
yeah, but
Yeah, yeah.
and so like I met Eric and Jeff and Brittany and Lawson and Vanessa Nottingham all before Verticon.
Oh yeah.
And so like I didn't feel the need to try and approach them at Verticon because Jeff and Eric are huge.
Sure.
People love them. And
Yeah,
people love everyone, but and I met Noah before Verticon as well. So I it wasn't like, hey, I want to at least go introduce myself.
sure.
Um, but I found that a lot of people don't know me by my name. They know me by my handle.
Which is like that's a real thing, you know, and that's hard to. I can only imagine that's gonna be a hard thing to reconcile with.
Mm. And I understood it because that's what my page is and that's what I talk to everybody on. But I found I'd be like, "Hi, I'm Angel," and then they'd kind of like look at me, and I'm
Right.
like, "Vertical film enthusiast," and they're like, "Oh my god, hi!"
Uh,
I'm like, "This is
yeah,
weird,"
yeah.
and it was weird because like people got excited to meet me.
Sure.
Everybody was excited to meet me, and I'm like, "I'm just a reviewer."
No, but you're part of the community. Like what a beautiful, lovely, wonderful, less than parasocial aspect of entertainment that we're all sharing in together, you know?
Mhm. I just I like how close knit the community is,
Yeah.
and I want it to stay this way forever, but at the same time, I want it to grow.
And it's growing for sure. And that's the which and it will change. And that's okay too. You know?
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm excited and I'm not worried about it. They
Sure.
know, all of you guys know that I'm going to be here to support regardless. I don't think I've watched a horizontal film in a year and a half.
Which is also scary for us too, because like we're also filmmakers and actors, and we want that to succeed as well. But like, no,
Mhm.
it's you're totally your prerogative. That's okay, and that's, you know. So yeah,
But I've been like full dive into vertical since I found them.
I
I'm
love
gonna
it.
break my vertical or my horizontal strike. That's what I've been calling it. It was a horizontal strike.
I know.
um, November 18th.
What are you gonna say?
Because Ryan has a Vertical coming out. Ryan Vincent.
Oh.
It's called The Disinvited. It's a thriller.
It's a horror. It's a traditional movie, or it's a Vertical?
Mm-hmm. It's a traditional.
Nice.
Unless Noah comes out first.
Yeah. Also good. We don't know.
But I'm like, oh, now I have to break my horizontal strike because I want to support them in their other things as well.
Which is very sweet.
Which is something I never thought I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough.
Let's see. Do you have any advice for someone who wants to either be a director or an actor in horizontal, verticals, the entertainment space?
Totally. Actors, a little bit more. I think both are a little bit more straightforward than people think. There's like this big mystified, how does this happen? And I remember feeling that way too. If you're an actor, sign up for Actors Access, sign up for Backstage, sign up for Casting Network, sign up for Mandy.com. Those are great resources to put money into your profile to audition for things. It's so worth it. That's how you're gonna find your way on set. That's how you get auditions. I've had an Actors Access account, I think, since 2010, 2009 maybe. And it's gotten me every feature film, TV show, short film, music video, small thing, big thing, everything from myself, from my representation. It's Actors Access. Commercial, that's where you go for film and TV. For commercial, you should go to Casting Networks. Don't know why, that's just kind of how it is. If you want to get started somewhere else and go Backstage or whatever, and just if you're starting from ground zero, Backstage or Mandy.com, they have like a lot of more student films and lower paying jobs, so you can get in and get your feet wet. But you can find plenty of that also on Actors Access or Casting Networks. Do that, take a class, build your community. You know, you gotta go to the gym to get a six-pack. Same thing with acting. You know, you gotta go to school to learn the thing a little bit. You don't have to, but it's helpful. And at the very least, you'll meet other people that are like-minded that will then connect you to an agency, maybe. That will then ask you to be in their off Broadway production for one night and a thing, maybe. That will then, you know, be a scene partner or a reader for an audition or all these things. So you got to build your community as an actor. And then from there, just keep at it. You guys and just keep going, go, submit for everything, but say yes to everything, and then start being more selective, and then be like, I don't like doing that anymore. I don't want to do that anymore. I'll never do that again. All that kind of stuff. You'll start to develop. On the directing side too, and this is like for everybody, it's like you just gotta do it. There's no shortcut to directing. You just gotta direct. But I don't know how great. Yeah. We also don't know how, but we figure it out. Yes, but where do I get my camera? I don't know. Where are you going to get your camera? I don't know. Where do I get my camera? Well, do you know anybody who owns a camera? I knew one guy in high school, maybe. I don't know. All right, ask that guy if he knows anybody to do the thing. You know what I mean? Where am I going to get money from? Who says you need a lot of money for it? You know, well, you need some money. All right, well, opposed to spending $500 to go to Coachella or whatever, spend $500 in your short film or whatever the thing is, right? You just got to do it. It's great to be a PA and then an AD and then work in art department or work in lighting or work in sound or work in costumes or, you know, the most time on set is helpful. Be an actor, do these things, and that will help you see a lot of great directors and a lot of really shitty directors and say, I don't like how this is happening. I do like how this is happening. And the lower in on the totem pole, the more you can learn. Because then you can ask everybody for anything, and they're going to be like, "Yeah, great. I want to show you. I want to help you." I love when we have interns. I love when we have PAs. I'll constantly. There's been like I don't even know. I mean, like dozens of times where I've let PAs sit in the chair, in my director chair behind a monitor for like one take or one scene or whatever, just to be like, you're never going to know what it feels like unless you start doing it. So let me give you an opportunity here. Sit in the chair. I'm still going to run the show, but just physically be in the space. Know what it feels like to make a decision. Watch me as I go with my gut and then recognize maybe that wasn't the right call, and then how do I readdress it, right? And process and vibe and do all that stuff. With directing though, it is like you got to build a little bit of a network of like who do you know on the crew side of things that wants to produce for you, that wants to shoot for you, that wants to costume design for you, and just put those pieces together slowly but surely, and then start small and work from there, and just get comfortable telling stories. Doesn't have to be good stories, doesn't have to be the right story, but you got to know how to communicate with actors, communicate with crew, communicate a creative idea, and make something that didn't exist. Build it from nothing to something. Sometimes it's on a page, and then you can go, if you write something, and then, or if somebody gives you a script, but it's just about being like, all right, when I close my eyes, the movie in my head, no, this is at a beach. I don't know why this is written at a coffee shop. This should be at a beach. We gotta go to a beach. And then great, go to the beach. Find the beach, do your thing. No, she didn't say it like that when I saw it in my head. No, she's more angry, but what's a different way of saying angry? Because maybe angry isn't right. You're resentful. Okay, great. That's the more specific you can go, resentful. Now it gives actors somebody to opposed to just, why am I angry? You're not angry, you're resentful. Okay, now it makes sense because earlier in the scene he said this and I'm resentful about that. You just got to do it,
Okay.
I hope that's helpful. I don't know if that is, but yeah.
Is there somewhere that you'd like to direct that you haven't been yet?
Like physically? New York, Australia, Iceland, Morocco, Malta, Singapore. I've gotten a lot of emails the past month about Nigeria, and I don't know what I have heard. I remember in film school learning about Nollywood. Maybe I go to Nollywood. That could be cool. You know what I mean? Bollywood, India would be great. I think the beautiful thing about cinema is that it exists everywhere nowadays. And so when I love working with international teams, it's like I love to see how they do it in other countries and like bring my little touch to it and understand how they interact. And because on my last bout in Turkey, it was like there would be full conversations that the gaffer and the production designer and the DP and the producer and the AD and me would all be having, and it would switch to fully Turkish, and I would be able to keep up. And I don't speak Turkish fluently, but I got pretty freaking good at understand, because a movie's a movie's a movie's a movie's a movie. And I can cut in English and be like, it doesn't matter. We don't need to, we're never going to look over that way. All of the trucks can stay there. Costumes can stay there. We're going to be looking this way the whole time, and we're going to get it before the sun falls over that ridge. So we don't need to worry about bringing out the extra lights. And also, we need to make sure we have double costumes because we know that she's going to get blood on herself here. And everybody just kind of look at me and they're like, how do you know that that's what we're talking about? And I'm like, because a movie's a movie. It doesn't matter what language we're making it in. The logistics of it are the same. So I would love to continue to travel the world and to continue to tell movies with new crew and new team and see beautiful landscapes.
Okay. Fun question. Final question, kind of. If you were a drink, what would you be?
I want like a pina colada, but with banana.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why that kept popping in my head. I don't think I've ever even had that. It would be delicious.
You're like, that's what I want.
That's exactly what I want right now at this moment. Yeah.
Do you have any questions for me as someone who has seen so many? And
right, and I think your insight really is so valuable. What do you find to be relatable in chart? Like when you really resonate with the story, are you resonating beyond performances? Like what story elements do you really resonate with?
I think I'm trying to decipher what you just asked me.
Yeah, I can ask that again. Besides general chemistry between two characters, what do you like in a vertical?
I like when I can see emotions. When there's not like big plot holes.
Mhm.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
And sometimes if I can relate to the situation,
Mm.
it helps me put myself where she is and then try and see where he's at. So like, for example, I was in a very, very domestic violence related marriage.
I'm so sorry.
And I had escaped that and then I found verticals. So for a while I couldn't watch it because it would be triggering to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I finally watched Mafia Housewife with Sam Ryerson and Jeff Ilett and
Mm-hmm.
Mila Jolene. I think that's her last name. Um, and it was really hard because the first part of it's kind of like heavily DV,
Mm-hmm.
but I was able to get through it, and it was like I was able to put myself in her position to see why she was so, resentful to Jeff's character
Mm.
and why she was acting the way she was.
And now, do you find it easier to watch those kind of stories?
And now I do. Now that I've, healed from it, and like it's an experience that I had.
Mm.
I lived it, I learned from it. I can now put it into verticals. Like what's another storyline that happens often? The girl leaves the guy because or she cheats on him because it's better for his life. I can see his point of view because I've been hurt like that.
Mm.
Because not only was like he physically, but he was emotionally, he cheated.
Mm.
Well, worst marriage you could probably think of is
Mm.
what mine was. But I can put myself in the dude's shoes and see where he's coming from. And I can put myself in her shoes and see where she's coming from. So like being able to do that really
Is
helps
it?
me.
Do you think there's a healing component that you gained from watching some of these verticals?
Probably. I've probably been because for a while it was my, like everybody else, it was my escapism.
Mm-hmm.
It's what I did to have me time, to have something for myself. Like this was my one thing that was for me.
Sure.
And I guess it was more healing for like, yeah, I know it's film, but love still exists out
Sure
there.
does. Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people like about, traditional films. Is like it gives you that sense of love again.
Yeah.
And verticals are so fast paced, it helps like it keeps my ADHD entertained while also like, love does exist. This may be a film, but I made a joke with my friend. I was like, I'm gonna go to LA, find a billionaire, fall in love.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, that's a really I appreciate you sharing that too, because like I think there is truth and there's power behind some of these storylines. And I know that, for a while I was very confused and I did not understand all the DV scenes in these verticals. And I was like, seems terrible. Why would we put this out there? And it clicked for me, I think on like vertical 4 that I did, where I was like, well, they keep getting saved at the last minute. And I can only imagine there's a large part of our audience who maybe weren't so lucky to have had that happen. And this is what I always say to as we're
I'm waiting for it to not be.
it's okay, no worries. As we're doing these scenes, I'll approach our actors. I'll be like, this is for those women or men who didn't have somebody come save them at the last minute. And so without relishing in, without kind of capitalizing on the trauma of what some people experience, let's take them somewhere in that pool. We don't have to touch the bottom. It doesn't have to be that deep. But we do need to see, what it feels like to be rescued and to be saved. And I think that really helps these performers kind of connect with the source material, because that is, as an audience, how you guys are experiencing it. And I think, you know, that's the most important thing, is the audience. So if you're not cognizant of how it's going to be received, like, and you're just going off your instinct, and you either do or don't have any connection to the source material, it's complicated, you know. And I'm so sorry that that's something you experienced, but I'm happy that you're able to find an outlet in this space.
And like you were saying, that's one thing that, you know, it does help. It did help me back then. Now I just watch it to watch and
Yeah, of course.
find my great reviews. It was like, you know, everybody has a savior.
Mhm.
These people didn't. So I didn't have that. But it was like somewhere someone does. And to know what they're going through, but to know that they got that savior
Mhm.
is kind of refreshing to me.
Mhm.
Because I don't like knowing people have gone through what I've gone through.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so sorry for that having been your experience, but it's just truly awful. So, but there's a lot of very fun things that we can you know, play with within the vertical space, and then in between the fun, if you're able to give a little bit of reality or comfort, or you know, you're able to see a deeper meaning behind some of these intentions. I think there's truth to power in that side of the artistry that hopefully with Gen 2 we're able to, you know, explore further and be more intentional with as well.
And like it happened, but I'm grateful for it, because if it wouldn't have, I wouldn't have found verticals. I wouldn't have gone to Verticon. I wouldn't have made friends or connections with half of the people I have if I didn't get out of that situation.
Mm.
If I didn't get out, none of my accounts would exist.
Mm.
I wouldn't have a single subscription on my phone. I wouldn't be as happy as I am. I wouldn't have traveled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be doing interviews right now.
Yeah. No.
Really great ones. So it's kind of,
What a beautiful silver lining in a terrible dark experience.
and you know, when I think back to it, I'm like, yeah, it sucks. It happened. I've healed from it. You know, I have that experience. But then I look at everything I have.
It's a beautiful way to look at it.
I'm chatting with you right now. I have friends that actually, you know, care and that relate to something that I relate to.
That's beautiful, Angel. I'm happy to be a part of that part of your journey.
No, I appreciate you being here. Do you have any other questions for me?
Not really, to be honest.
That's okay. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to talk to me.
Of course. Likewise.
But other than that,
I so appreciate you having me on, and thank you so much for your time.
of course. And we'll chat soon.
Sounds good.
All right.
Bye, Angel.
Bye.